There's a piece of dating advice that's been repeated so many times, it's become gospel. Don't chase. Let them come to you. Every dating coach says it. Every relationship guru preaches it. Every motivational Instagram post declares it. But here's what nobody tells you. This rule only works if you're already attractive enough to have options. For most people, following this advice is like a homeless person refusing job offers because they're knowing their worth. Let me explain why attractive men completely ignore this rule, while average guys who follow it end up alone. The fundamental truth about chasing is that it creates a power imbalance. Whoever pursues is automatically at a disadvantage. Think about it like negotiation. The person who needs the deal more always has less leverage. The one who can walk away controls the terms. Dating works exactly the same way. When you chase, you're announcing that you need them more than they need you. And once that dynamic is established, it almost never reverses. I see this constantly in my practice. Average guys read some dating advice about not chasing and knowing your worth. So they sit back and wait for women to approach them. Meanwhile, they're getting 0 matches, 0 attention, 0 anything. They're following advice meant for men who have options, but they don't have options. It's like a minimum wage worker trying to negotiate like a CEO. The leverage isn't there. Attractiveness determines who gets pursued. Period. This isn't just about looks, though looks matter enormously. It's the total package. Physical appearance, status, wealth, charisma, social proof. If you score high enough in these areas, people chase you. If you don't, you chase them. That's reality. No amount of positive thinking changes this fundamental dynamic. Here's a brutal test. If you stopped initiating all romantic interactions tomorrow, would you still have a dating life? If the answer is no, then you're not attractive enough to not chase. You're not in the position to be selective. You're not the prize, and pretending otherwise is why you're alone. The reality versus wishful thinking gap is massive here. Most people desperately want to believe they're more attractive than they are. They want to believe they deserve to be chased. They want to believe they can sit back and let romance come to them. But wanting something doesn't make it true. The market determines your value, not your self-affirmations. I had a client, decent-looking guy, maybe a 6 out of 10, who decided he was done chasing women. He read somewhere that high-value men don't chase, so he stopped. 3 years later, he hadn't been on a single date. Not one. Because he wasn't high value enough to not chase. He was just average enough to be ignored when he stopped trying. Self-improvement as a strategy actually works. But it takes time most people won't invest. Hit the gym consistently for 2 years. Upgrade your entire wardrobe. Build a successful career. Develop interesting hobbies. Learn to be genuinely confident, not fake confident. Improve your social skills. Get professional photos. After all that, maybe you can stop chasing. Maybe. But here's the thing. Even then, you might still need to initiate. Because unless you're in the top 10% of attractiveness, you're competing with men who are also fit, successful, and interesting. The bar keeps rising. What made you attractive in 2010 makes you average in 2024. The competition never stops. Pursuit is an offensive tactic for those without natural advantages. If you're not tall, not naturally handsome, not rich, not charismatic, pursuing aggressively might be your only option. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. The alternative is waiting for something that will never come. Think about it strategically. An average-looking guy who approaches 100 women might get 5 dates. The same guy who waits to be approached gets 0 dates. Which strategy works better? The math is simple. But the ego doesn't want to accept it. Pride says, I shouldn't have to chase. Reality says, then enjoy being alone. The gender-neutral nature of power in attraction is something people miss. This isn't just about men and women. It's about relative attractiveness. An unattractive woman waiting to be pursued will wait forever, too. A highly attractive woman can make men chase and compete. A highly attractive man has women approaching him constantly. Power flows to attractiveness regardless of gender. I know a guy who's 6 feet 4 inches, built like a Greek god, makes 7 figures, and has the face of a movie star. He doesn't even have dating apps. Women literally approach him at coffee shops, gyms, everywhere. He doesn't chase because he doesn't need to. The last time he pursued a woman was never. That's what actual high value looks like. Compare that to the average guy who maybe gets a match a week on dating apps, usually from someone he's not attracted to. This guy needs to chase. He needs to send the first message, plan the date, make the moves, escalate everything. If he stops, his dating life stops. That's not unfair. That's reality matching his market value. Timing and life stage matter enormously. A woman at 22 might have endless options without trying. The same woman at 35 might need to be more proactive. A man at 25 might need to chase hard. The same man at 35, if he's built success, might find women pursuing him. The power dynamics shift with age, achievement, and circumstances. People's desirability shifts dramatically over time. The hot guy from high school who peaked at 18 is now overweight and working retail. The nerd who nobody noticed is now a successful entrepreneur with confidence and resources. The cheerleader who had infinite options is now a single mom with limited prospects. The quiet guy who focused on building himself is now the catch. Strategies that work in youth often fail later. The pretty girl who could be passive at 20 can't be passive. At 20 can't be passive at 40. The guy who could coast on looks at 25 can't coast on the same looks at 45. But people keep using outdated strategies, wondering why they stopped working. Your market value changed, but your approach didn't. Legitimate power requires responsibility, which is what most people don't understand. When you're actually attractive enough to make others chase, you have obligations. You need to lead, provide value, maintain standards. You can't just collect attention like Pokemon cards. Power without responsibility leads to empty transactional interactions.